I was like, it's right there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I tried to put it between the seats, but
Oh, you're good.
that way everybody wasn't very long.
Didn't take that long to the meeting in there.
Oh,
What?
was gonna ask you the dumbest question ever, Craig, and then I figured it out. He was talking about burning, and I was like, it's saying nothing over 1 inch by what, and I was like, the burn. Ridiculous, and I was like, oh, they're talking about the branches, can't be more than 1 inch. I was like, no, we get it. Why would we know? No, I was just reading the ordinance for code enforcement.
All of a sudden it's dead and dead, and all of a sudden it picks up one long night. What about the whole city? And boys, they didn't know that. Oh,
You just said, well, look at a real.
yeah, sneaky.
I gotta get a pen for you that one.
Yeah.
I'll
I
see.
put $200
Calculator?
I heard that.
Huh?
$200 for that reimbursement. Those looks like flints out of a lighter.
Oh, yeah?
Proctor probably for 2 bags.
Nice.
$100 kind of say, this is for the memorial.
Wonderful.
Because their daddy gave me one a year
Yeah, I
ago.
remember that.
Yeah. So I bought a Troyville spreader.
Uh-huh.
Cause last time I went chicken feed. Now I covered the whole place.
Oh, nice.
But the snow, because I put it down and it snowed that night, and I thought, all right, perfect.
Right.
No, them things are hard, man. How's it going?
Good. It was anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna change.
It's not much.
So here on this.
Don't forget to sign in, guys. Oh, that's your thought. Okay. With the, I'm trying to go like there. I'm sure it's out there, like. Hi, good, how are you? Hey, sweet Samora. How are you? Good. I stopped your house today.
Well, welcome to the club. Most interesting people in town.
You are. We were, actually, me and Aria were staring at your car.
What'd you say?
What have you been up to? Same old stuff, you were like, same stuff, different day, and now I have time out my phone. Still there.
It's cracking, man.
That really enough?
Yeah, it looks.
The next day. Go to the store.
That's my favorite. No, only people say me. Yeah, I keep doing that. Love it.
Right.
You got good numbers.
That's you want to figure it out. See, I'm just here to see. They give me the price for one. That.
55 a month. How many customers?
Oh, there, you said one upside down.
Go, Terry, go.
See what's there?
I think it's like, it's not small, it's because that's on what.
Oh, good job.
Job. Wow. There must be the game only trees there. That's well, then how it is. Know how many were divided?
No, I mean, you have times your, water tap.
Going down the mountain. We always wanted to throw it all, put all.
Yeah. Well, when I say that's all the water, that's trash.
All the races, those are dark. You know what I do? Let me print that off. I'll just take that as a number. That's really all we
That is
get.
it.
Well, I can tell you exactly who has how many totes and who has dumpsters.
What do we need? Just addresses or?
I just need a total number of people that are receiving votes and I can give you a number.
Oh, some of those trees that are marked with the orange, weren't on the estimate. Cause I know the one next to me, you were tearing that down. That one's not on there. Which on 206, that must have been fuel.
Yeah, I showed. They had, they rode me around with the tree.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying.
803. Yeah. And just around.
Yeah, they were signing. I'll chop it up. I'll chop it over the show. And I'll haul it away. Or if we have a shredder guy, I'll take all the time. I'll take all the.
It's going to fall on that house. We'll store it at the gate. And. But we should have.
You're welcome. So currently we have 167 single totes, 5 residents with 2 totes, and 5 residents with 2 yard totes.
I had corn flow.
There goes the brain.
And you, officer.
We do have an officer.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say?
Huh?
They called it.
3 yard out, you're done.
Roll call. Mayor paying the rent there.
Okay,
Here.
Howes,
Here.
Lester,
Here.
DeVore,
Here.
Driver,
Here.
Sealy.
Ready?
This meeting is being recorded.
Mr. Howell, right there.
Okay. All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, do we have a consent to the agenda?
Was it back at 45? 157, plus your 5 other ones at 10.
Consent to the agenda, or do you have a motion? The agenda. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, do you approve it? Are you good with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay. All right. And, we put the reason motion on, yes, I apologize. And the financials, you have the financials already. There's Diane. Hello, Diane.
You start the meeting yet?
Yeah,
So you haven't let me in.
He admitted it, or I watched him do it.
well, then we're gonna see if we can try it again. There you are, all right. Diane? Sealy, did you make it on? Okay, so you guys, if we want to do the executive, or you guys want to wait for Dan to get here? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and table that part. All right, so with old business, we did let ORC permission for Blake to release shares from Frymark and Color now. And we've been doing pretty good on that, so we are all up to date and current on it. Great. Thank you. We're still pending on the ORC contract. She's waiting for the attorney to talk to him. We did do the proposal for the sanitation, which we have those with us. And for cutting down hazardous trees on town property, that is also in your guys' packets. For new business, do you guys have a chance to look over those? You guys want a couple minutes to look over those numbers real quick?
Trash bid, you mean?
Yep, the trash exactly. Yeah, she's so.
Says it's here.
Diane, are you able to get on there?
Mike's muted.
Yeah, I'm on here.
Got it, all right.
Well, I'm still connected to your phone.
Why is it?
Playing out, playing better than Mike.
We're got the trash proposal.
There you
No, well, or just a few, well, it's pretty, those ones for right now. Okay, and then we're gonna go.
It was like the one out in front of my house that I was working on that one.
Yeah, we have the,
Some of us are.
but it kind of gives us a number.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't have that.
All right, so do we, who's in favor of valid trash? Look at that way.
I am.
Okay, so we have 2 for Valley. And
So
then,
does everybody know the numbers, I guess?
yeah,
Cause you guys all know the numbers? The prices? and
Yes, I
everything?
looked at the proposals, yes.
Okay, everybody add them up, so just so we go through, the Center City's $4,800 a month. Valley Trash is $4,500 a month. And Waste Connections, I guess it is, they are $3,600 a month, so. Jennifer did the crunching on it, and I think Valley Trash is, or
Sugar City was $12,000 a year less than Valley Trash, but Waste Connections was $24,000 less a year. So you guys take that into consideration when you're,
I did. I also took in consideration the service that I know we get from them.
$24,000 worth of service.
Can I say something? I had.
Who did you have? Waste Connections?
They weren't very good. This trash a lot.
Make them come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they handle all the shit there, all
Well, and with this right here, it shows that they are actually cheaper than what we have down here,
Who's that?
the Waste Connections.
Yeah, there, I mean, well, if you do it, if you do it 3 year.
Cheaper.
It's a quality.
We did Valley and Sugar City was cheaper last time, now it's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a couple thousand, 24,000.
Yeah, which is a lot. Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that we need to do what's the best for the town. And as far as everyone's trash bill's going up, we need to kind of save money on that. So I think responsibly, we have to do what we can to try to save money for the citizens.
That's the way to handle it. I mean,
Local.
I'm a business, I'm more business than I am service stuff. I know services, I mean, trash shouldn't be that hard to figure out. If you're saving 24,000, they should be able to do a job, Also asked her if they was early out if they weren't service. And same with Valley Trash, same with all, they do the service and they want the contract. If they're not doing the job that we are expecting, we should have an out. And I think that can be added to these contracts, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you guys, I've noticed some state, you guys said Waste Connections has been here. So how long? They said they've never served here. They've never been here. That was Waste Management, not Waste.
Yeah.
Waste Connections.
Yeah, you're right.
This is Waste Connection. Yeah, these guys have. That's why.
Oh, that's.
They might, no, Sugar City does their own, or Wake does their own, Fowler does something else, they have their own.
Those guys are nationwide, out, on your talk about the cheap, they're all over the country, so.
Yeah, they own it. So, I guess, go ahead and go through the vote, everybody can vote what they feel.
All right, so with that information in mind, again, Valley Trash, who's the Valley Trash?
Just
How many
go
for
through-
Valley
go through
Trash?
each- Go through each one, and just ask each.
Okay, all right, so Waste Management is, or Waste Connections is
Waste
cheapest.
Go ahead and now just.
Okay, all right, so how many for Valley
Just go
Trash?
through each person.
Oh, each person, oh, okay. Cahill,
Bev, oh,
What?
who would you choose out of those three?
Well, I still am going with Valley Trash.
Okay. All right. Sealy?
I'm gonna go with Waste Management right now because I want us to save some money for our town. I mean, the citizens' bills, that's
Yeah.
responsible.
Lester,
I'll agree,
Waste Connections,
yeah. The waste management.
DeVore? Same? Trevor? Or Trevor, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to go with Waste Connection just because $24,000.
That's the thing is like.
And House? Same? All right.
Huh?
So we have Waste Connections for a,
Then the other thing we gotta decide, if we're only 1 year or 3 year contract, 3 years drops per rate extensively, and I think if we did 3 year, if we still have the out clause in there, we'd be covered, because you're dropping $500 a month if you did the 3 year. I don't know. Well, I'm trying for a year and see if we're happy to maybe enter into 3 years, what I kind of think, I'd say bring it in for a year, not tie ourselves to 3 years.
After a few months, we can farm and then do.
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna do.
All right,
But
so,
3 years, 500
oh,
bucks.
1 year
Do you think,
truck,
well, he is right, he has a good point. Do the 3 years and save the 500 bucks a month on it, that's $6,000 a year. If we have an out on it, it doesn't matter if 3 years or 5, as long as we have the out.
all in favor of the 3 years?
I,
Aye.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so, can I get a motion for the acceptance of Waste Connections?
Make a motion.
Motion.
Accept the lease connection contract.
Second,
I'll second it.
all right, next is,
All in favor?
oh, all in favor?
Aye.
All in favor,
I,
Aye.
all opposed? All right. All right, so now we have the review and discussion of the tree cutting proposals.
First question I have for that is, do we have money? Anywhere?
Well, and this is, so I was talking to the tree service people, and one of the guys that we have had stated that this is the wrong time of year to cut trees. Okay,
Well, Edwards.
dead ones, yeah, well, dead ones doesn't matter, but like to trim them up and all that is the wrong time of year to do it. So, I had even asked him if it would be possible to keep these numbers, and if, like, I don't know, once a month, maybe cut down one of the dead trees, if we have the money for it. Yeah, exactly, and then,
I know we're supposed to get. But did we end up with, they had a property over here, they ended up trading hands, they ever get collected on that property yet?
not yet, no.
That needed good friendship.
Yeah.
Tree money, road money.
Right, exactly,
Let it fall.
so,
I just got one tree at a time.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah, right,
yeah,
I agree.
I mean, there's a lot in there for it, so. There's a lot to be cut and trimmed and stuff. I think, yeah, I think so, I think we should look at, kind of check out the tree.
Figure out.
Absolutely, I think so, yeah. Okay, so, if you want for next meeting, I'll make sure that I take pictures of those trees, and that way I have the pictures.
There was more to the portion.
Yeah, exactly. So does that work for everybody?
So are we tabling it and just till the next meeting?
Yeah, can we figure out exactly the most important ones first?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Are we all in favor of tabling? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. All right, so, time for public comments, limited to 4 minutes each. There's no decision that can be made by the board. Topics can be put on the next month's agenda if necessary, and then no further discussion. Okay?
I was like, can I sign up?
Yeah, just make sure you sign the sheet up front up there. Oh. Okay. So we will start with, Officer Green.
Done what we're going for this stuff.
Hello, I'm Junior Officer Green. I am the one who's hosting the Olney Springs Easter egg hunt. And it'll be on the 12th, this month at 2 p.m. Across from the post office.
That council is he designed that for the Crowley County Sheriff's Department.
And what date was that again, man?
12.
This Saturday.
12.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thursday.
He's doing it Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, it was sent on the town.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sent on the last. But I'll send it back.
And then, Mayor, are you taking care of that park?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Terry went and and, cleaned it all up today.
It breaks some leaves and sticks up, and some trash and got picked up.
Nice.
And
So,
then Junior
yeah,
Officer
come on.
Green here also went through with the metal detector, make sure there's no metal on the ground.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're gonna
Good.
check it again Friday.
Good idea.
Been coming down by the portage on there's hospital stuff. That's something I went there and throwed it down and diapers. I'll mow water, whatever, but I got extra.
Yeah, all right, I'm just going road back. Miss, Cheryl?
They're sharp.
We're waiting to see what's coming down here.
Okay, all right,
I do know that somebody complained about my spreaders. And if you start cutting them, you're gonna have a fight like you've never had.
yeah, it's just, they have to be off of the bushes, yeah.
There's maybe 2, 3 people that's lived here long enough. Nobody uses the sidewalks, so when there was nothing there, no one uses the sidewalks, they go in the street. A lot of places don't have sidewalks.
Right, however, in our ordinance, it shows they have to be
Dave's
cleaned
in the
up.
process of trimming, he
Okay.
hasn't. And you all know we've had health issues, our yard, it's probably the cleanest one in town. And somebody is picking on us, so they're trying to make it difficult for other people in town.
Excuse me, I was asked to trim mine, so I'm cutting it down.
Well,
Hold on, wait,
All right.
let's go in for here, hold on.
All right,
And they never walked, period, and they never went in front of our house until we built in their deck, and they're trying to see. what's happening.
and then behind you,
Can you guys introduce yourself?
My turn?
Stephanie.
Okay, I'm Stephanie Clark, most of you know me by. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have good news like Jobin, I have a bill here, I'm speaking on behalf of Gail Mason, she lives at 210 Stick. And she had sewer issues, on March 5th, we received a call from her saying her toilets are backed up with sewage. There's sewage in both of her bathtubs. So we came over in the middle of the night. We got a hold of a plumber, and the following morning, we, Stephen Arnold, my husband, and I met Louis Altamirano over here at her house. We did have the snake rental, and that we worked on this for 2 days. So what happened is we started out in the middle of the yard and went back towards her house. There was not the issue from the middle of the yard back to her house. So then we went forward, and it was out past her gate, and it was along the road, which that I do believe is the town, correct? Okay. So on the second day, we ended up contacting the town. Stephen Arnold came down here, and I think he might have spoke with you. And there's been no issues for at least a couple months now, I do believe.
they fixed it.
Yeah.
They fixed it.
Yeah.
It's
Been since you
actually,
located it,
yeah, since it was,
it's been that way.
This right time frame.
Just one thing was,
So everything's working now.
no, so her main concern was why everybody on the street, Lauren lives on the street, Mindy, why they were never notified of the issue, because then a plumber, like, we wouldn't have came out for that. We would have she would have notified the town, there wouldn't have been 2 days of labor, 3 days of people coming over and everything, when we could have notified, she could have notified the town and dealt with it that way. Now she has a bill of $630. Stephen, you escaped, right? Or over here. Okay, and it's a breakdown. So
Did you have anybody else have trouble?
I didn't have any calls on it.
What was the address?
it is 210 Stick.
Is that on,
I have.
you guys, I know, so is that on, it's on the line or what's on the sewer line? So if
It's
we
not
have
a-
problems with that.
South down from Mr. High.
Right, but what I'm getting at is, you have any problems?
No, but they did get their trigger out of it. Yeah, we were
Right,
running
but
about.
what I'm asking is, are any other service lines. On
Yeah,
that.
there is.
Lauren's on the other side of the street, Gail and Mindy are on, we have
I
the
think
west side, and then my neighbor.
But nobody else is having trouble.
Linnell had trouble, yeah.
Smells up to my house and cover it.
Well, I'm just trying, figure out, and you guys fix that.
Blake and I, yes,
And-
Blake and I and CCWA.
and Lauren.
Over the
Lauren.
weekend, the clean out blew the lid and sewage come up.
That's what, yeah.
Thank God it didn't come into my house.
We had a
We put it clean out.
partial collapse and good.
In that pipe there.
But the partial collapse was north of her house. And on Lauren, Bruce and I, we got a fire hose to try to clean out the sewer line. There was Hot Wheels. And
So,
other stuff that's not supposed to go in the sewer drain.
catching up on this, when you guys replace that, you replace the section where her property two can tie into that.
No,
So you're down.
north of it.
They came in after we came down here and told them there's crap all over in the bowl of her bathroom.
They got a lot.
And that it was not from the middle of her yard to her house. It went past, so it was the towns which
Right,
led
that's what I
out
said.
to the road.
So Linnell and, yeah, they should have problems too.
Linnell had been.
Linnell did.
And I'm pretty sure the house across the street, I'm not.
Mrs. Lopez,
No, well, I don't know.
oh,
We're, what I'm trying to figure out is where everybody else.
So
was
just
going.
across the
That's weird.
area, I don't.
I had very little that, when I came in, I was informed they broke the snake off, they'd known about it for a couple months. Nora, I don't remember your name, but we're both in your uniform.
yeah,
They were on the phone, speakerphone here in conversation, so there was no problem. Nobody was informed. And so that's why Bill's coming to the town and trying not to stick it to ill, because, I mean, we had parks and labor and I hired them. And it turned out to not be her problem that she was never informed. But I was told that they knew about the problem, at least they don't know that.
Well, there was a problem, but I was part of that, but there was not a complete blockage. When we were, well, then the way I'll explain it is that new single wide outlet being put into Harry. That's who we're still waiting to be tied into that line. However, we waited on that in order because that line, when the manhole cover was taken off, it was at half full. So it was still working at that point. So for a month or two, they were trying to figure that out to get it to break loose. To do the
I
rest, but-
saw the
but you-
bathtubs, it stopped. So I saw the bathtubs, it stopped.
Oh, we're not going with that, but yeah, what I'm saying is, at some point, that finally collapsed or wherever you guys fixed, it finally collapsed. But I'm still kind of trying to figure out why yours didn't back up. And other people on the same line, but he's just the only one on that line.
Lauren is on the
He's
east
on the
side.
corner, yes.
They are on the west side
So
of
is
the
they-
street, and they're having problems on the west side.
honestly. I don't
know any
other explanation.
No, other way around and facing the wrong way. You know, on that side, I'm like, looking at this, you know what I mean? Like twisted back.
Down,
What's down?
down.
Yeah, where we first, there's we're going with property line.
Yeah.
Right, you want to have it, whole thing over, she can. It's. Look that. That's.
You're fixing something above the drainage that way, you're up here. And her address is here, and you're fixing over here, then how is that correcting the
I
problem?
don't know, but we ran out of fire hose up there 100.
Follow what I'm
At
saying?
least 100 feet, we ran out. Fire hose up
We ran the
in.
fire hose up here.
Well, yeah, but what I'm getting at is, problem where you guys fixed
Mhm.
is,
North of that house.
Where we
so how
fixed
you fixing that, fix their problem then? If it's north, everything's running south.
Well, we ran a fire hose, to see if we can clear it out or jet it, because that's what Bruce recommends.
Well, I understand all that,
Let's run
but
it
what I'm getting at, the section of pipe you guys replaced
Yes,
is north of their house.
yes.
Everything's running that way. How is fixing that section you fixed, correcting their problem?
Has more flow. Cause it wasn't flowing, so it was probably settling where she was at. We jetted it out with fire hose. We couldn't get the fire hose up any further, and that's when we found that, tap that was done for Dean Hyatt or whatever kind of collapsed. We removed that tap and, ran a jet.
Did we run the fire hose going south?
We ran the fire hose going north from the manhole
From the
by her
manhole?
house.
In front of her house to.
Just to clear out anything that may
Winter
possibly
Street,
be
we
there.
didn't run it south.
No, we ran it north.
So put it down,
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah, there's a manhole that's like,
The manhole covers about 90 foot
But this
south of Erlon. So the blockage had to be in that small section.
Well, right, but what, you're smart, you know what, about that, so. The property line is here, but they're saying they took out, how many section of feet did you guys fix up north?
probably 10 feet.
So was it classified north of the service and everything's running that way?
They cleaned the pipe first, and that's when she started working. It's about 300 foot total, and there's about 90 foot from the manhole coverage to her.
So there should be another problem now.
That's what I'm saying, we can run the hose going south from Gales to, yeah, we ran north. Or we didn't run it to the south, or from her house, we didn't run it to the end of the road there.
No, but
No, we
from
didn't.
her line to the manhole cover is 80 or 90 foot.
If you south.
I know, we didn't blast wire hose
You
going south. So there's
No.
no, this is the line.
Okay, so I will call, I'll have to see if we can tackle it.
Okay, what they're talking about, they went and checked their sewer line, in their house. It was great, okay, and it was clear.
Right.
Well, Warren's talking about, Terry's talking about, is we got the fire hose, and we actually blew it north. What was it, 100 feet, Lauren? Something like that, before it opened up and rained.
So, but that was going north.
But
Yeah, that's where her house is north, from where we went in, okay, to go up.
Her house,
That was north, because that's where her line was crossing the street, right?
Right. Yeah.
Fixed north of her house.
Yeah, it's north of it, right?
They're saying they fixed north.
Right. Yes, but they,
That's right,
but they
because-
cleaned,
It's
they
north.
cleaned south of her house.
The thing of it is
Okay.
we ran the fire hose up through there. From that point, till we got past her house north,
Yeah, where they.
so we can get that line
So
opened
it's
up.
forced everything north.
Yes, okay,
So there
so,
has to be a blockage somewhere in that point.
yeah, and that's what we found. It doesn't block me after her.
They solved Gale's problem with the fire
Right.
in the storm.
This
But there
was done
another
after,
problem. and you can't-
After
After that,
yes, because we notified this town.
there are
Right.
two problems.
Okay.
And that's what they're trying to say, okay? Otherwise, we run that fire hose down through there, it would have never opened that up for her line to flush out. Right.
So when it got fixed, then they're, okay, I got it, all right.
Okay, so you want me to put that?
44 minutes, but keep going.
So do you want me to put that?
Put it on the next.
Okay.
So anyways, that's why we're requesting with the town, since she was never notified that there had been an issue prior. Prior, like 2 months, there was no
Just,
letter sent out that there's been a plumbing problem on that street, so that's why she got a hold.
Yeah.
How
So
she had the problem.
that's why we're requesting that
Well,
the town.
I know about that.
and the lines weren't maintenance properly, like, it was discussed that second day we were on the job, these lines should be flushed monthly. They had not been.
Well, that's true.
So,
Yeah, we're not, nobody's ducking the, it's just the way.
Yeah,
it's happening.
we just want everybody to know that. I was up there with you guys, so I know.
that's me, so you give her that.
Okay,
I got it.
I just have one copy. Do you need more
No,
than one
it's-
copy?
yeah.
Okay, good, yeah.
Okay, and then
Just about a question, when do we need to wash down our trash bins? If we're gonna have, it ready, and when do we?
that's usually the trash company's issue.
Yeah, they take care of it.
take care of
Well, Silver City makes washing.
Well, cause I washed the strippers out when I worked there and picked them all up.
that. Yeah, it's on them.
That's on them.
Anybody else?
Anything else?
I would like to piggyback off of the sewer issue. My name is Marissa. I'm from South Broadcasting. And I was looking into your old records of the grant, and I noticed you guys had a grant in July 31st of 2018
in the amount of $335,884. This was for a sanitary sewer improvement project grant. Could you guys explain to me what you guys fixed with that?
You'll have to write it down, have Jennifer look into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'll have to look into that.
2018, that would have been a whole
That
different.
would've been way, yeah,
That
that's
was what he
way.
got. I remember that.
Hold on.
It was a lot
That's
of.
2018.
Yeah, like we,
Now, that's,
Do you have any paperwork we can have?
I can put it up and bring it to the next meetings.
Can you do that?
Or I could.
Or you can email it, just email it to her.
This is just a sheet that says what it is.
Yeah, if you can email her as much information you can.
I'll give you
Yeah,
my
we'll look
email
at it.
here in a minute. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I picked up your email this morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, so you just have something, let's go forward back.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research. But yeah, get her as much information as we can.
All right, is that everything?
Everybody, anybody else? Thanks, guys, for coming out.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye. See you guys.
Bye, officer.
Thank you guys. All right, do we have a mayor or trustee?
Well, we can call it.
I've been civilian for 5 years. I've been civilian for 5
Hold
years.
on.
It's not.
We're not done with the meeting yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
I haven't been civilian in 5 years. I lost government money.
Okay.
Guys, you sit down.
Yeah,
we're finishing the meeting, guys.
I talked to.
Excuse me, we're going to the meeting, please.
Let's call the chair. Sure.
All right. Do we have a report from the mayor or trustees? Anything for you guys?
No, not for me.
No? Okay. All right. Maintenance, your report, please.
Hey, Blake and I got the sewer line repaired. We found multiple issues, got them repaired. I did get a quote for getting some parts for fixing some fire hydrants, because while we was out flushing fire hydrants, I did find 3 that have some seals that are bad that we need to replace. I looked into the other fire hydrant that was hit by the cement truck with Chuck. That fire hydrant does work. So you guys can decide if you want to leave it alone or if we need to buy the mega lugged gasket kit to straighten it up and get some cement.
Yeah, we ever got any money for that?
I did talk to Rick about it, and he said he's gonna get a hold of the company and see
So
what
it's
they're.
not leaking at this point, it's.
No, it's still operational.
Like they trying on it, I
Yep.
say table that until we find out. If we need to fix. If you got other ones that need to be addressed, correct?
We got, then we got one we gotta move, and that'll be a whole different cost or whatever, and get to that. We got, 3 sprinklers we need to replace, and I was talking to Jen about it, and I know she wants to possibly, wanted me to ask you guys about redoing the sprinkler thing here, since she thinks it's ugly, because the sprinklers weren't technically put low enough in the ground. If we want to lower them in the ground or leave them alone, since they work, it's up to you guys.
I don't think they work real well.
Well, no.
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know who does sprinklers.
What?
Who does sprinklers?
Hardware store, just a hardware store, we just run the hardware store down.
Take care of it.
Yeah,
Let's do that. Well, this stuff here is the parts you need. 3 or 4.
that's for the fire hydrants.
Okay, did you see that?
Yeah, I just handed it.
I'm gonna go ahead and get them.
Oh, yeah, I most definitely. Oh, we got.
And we got, I mean, if we can't figure out,
Cause we got 3 fire
find out
hydrants
where
down there.
Jennifer wants to take it.
We technically have 4, because we got that one we need to move from the senior center, but we'll focus on that one later. We'll just get our ones that need minor repairs first, because that one's gonna be a little bit more expensive. I know you already got the fire hydrant. I don't know if your gate valve is any good or not, so we might have to buy a gate valve, some mega lugs, some other pipe to transfer it over to the other side.
Did we ever get enough of our water parts?
Well, we're still in the process of ordering those. We've had one that came in. They have kind of on a back order on those, plus the meters.
We paid for them, we haven't got them.
We've only got one in, and they're only gonna charge us as we get them at a time. And with our fire hydrant purchase, and those are probably gonna be pretty pricey, I can hold off on that for a minute so we can get that. And
Go ahead,
focus
get
on
this.
on this. Okay.
Everybody in favor of getting these parts for the fire hydrant?
Most definitely.
Diane?
Yeah, I am.
I'm in for getting the sprinkler
So you gotta get it from everybody.
All right, all in favor, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead now, sorry.
Then while DJ was out and about, he did notice a valve box riser was damaged, so we need to replace the top half of that. So I'm looking to getting a quote for that. It shouldn't be too much.
Yeah, parts.
No, we're gonna have to order a top half of one.
I'd say if you get a quote for it, it's under 150, 200 bucks. We don't need to run through the board, just get it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah. we're good with that.
Yes.
Diane?
Yeah, I'm okay. I have to remember to unmute.
Other than that, started mowing along the bar ditches and in the alleys since the vegetation is starting to grow. We don't want to try to mow our course like we did last year, so I'll make sure we keep up on that.
Okay, hold on that. Anyway, have we got our little statements ready to go out for everybody to take care of the yard this year and our weeds and stuff that we're gonna do on the water? We have a little pamphlet we need
Yeah,
to
we
sign
need
on.
to get them in that.
Need to go out ASAP on it. So
Yes.
write that down and make that priority, please.
It's nothing about the fences, all gonna need the same height, the same material, that's all.
No, I'm just gonna,
That's not right.
I'll talk to you later about that.
Okay,
So, all right,
okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, then the meters that our older meters that we have stored here, I've went through them, I've cleaned and put back together ones that I could. I need to get some parts to make a little testing jig. It's just be a couple fittings or whatever, so we can make sure they work.
Yeah, and then what happens when Gino was supposed to get
Probably didn't make it.
So,
together? Get it done.
That's. When, been picking up a lot of branches. As of lately,
You ready to burn that pit again?
much up.
Okay. Keep well, sooner than better, later.
Yeah, we don't want it too big. That way we're not there all day.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Bruce has given me this plaque that he wants hung. I was asking DJ about what they use for hanging it, and he informed me that it has been a constant battle of hanging it and taking it down and hanging it, taking it down and hanging it, taking it down. So we don't play the game of put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down, and waste money doing that. I need you guys to decide whether or not we're going to put it up or not.
All right.
So that way, we're not spending anything unnecessary. And that way we can have the final say of whether it goes up or not.
Address it next meeting.
Okay.
Whoever has got information on it, needs to be present at the meeting, so. We're to make a decision.
Okay, with the sewer line being done, I'm gonna need DJ for a day or whatever, whenever he's available to finish the sewer tap on the trailer house, so we can get that done and get that one hole filled in.
And you just on that DJ situation, you guys know what you guys call
Okay,
it, you know, when you need, you guys know what you be done, what day you do it.
okay.
Couple days ahead of
Couple
time.
days ahead, yeah, preferably, see how they need it down. If he's all right, you're good with that?
Okay.
That's, I'm not asking for
And
it.
when I get more parts for the setter stuff or whatever, I'll need them for that. So I have a spotter, so we don't rip up anything unnecessarily that we don't want to do.
You need any help, two-man project on the day, figure them all out, what you need for that day, to do that projects, but that's the rest of the day. You know, some stuff, plan like, so you decide, or you do, or get together, and say, this is gonna be two-man project for the day, but hey, that Friday, or Wednesday's another two-man project, let's combine them and do it one day, so you can use Dustin accordingly, and efficiently for one day, do all the two-man job, during one-man job. So, that's all right, Rich?
That's about all I got.
Okay, I want to throw out one more thing.
Oh yeah, we did change locks.
All the locks are brand new because of the fact Terry went out and found one stuff up there at the tree dump. So I went and bought all brand new locks. Everything has brand new locks on it, and keys, and the only ones that have them is the clerk, and as far as I know, DJ and Terry.
Well, I still gotta give him his keys since he hasn't been around.
Yeah.
I know Blake has his keys that he needs.
And anybody else can check them out, let me
Yes.
know.
But I'd be really careful to check out.
Because
If we
you can
can't
copy it.
do it, we just have the town guy come in and make sure we're open to that.
Right.
I like that.
Well, I usually did, what we did at Sugar, because we had this problem with people dropping engines and other stuff in there, and like, we'd literally sit there and babysit and help them unload. That's something I'm not objected to, that's something I'm used to doing. I know you guys are a little bit more lax on that, but that's something we could try.
There's no to have a scrap pile, but no free on appliances or any of that stuff. We will, like free rings.
Yep.
Pick up scrap.
So that part down there, you need stuff too. Did you write that in when you was talking about the hot sprinklers?
Yeah, that was, we need one sprinkler for there, we need two for here.
Yeah.
No, they're like $20.
That's a good one.
I think get what you need, get the water working correctly, so it's hitting there. You know, some of them are hitting where they belong. Thing, so.
Yep.
Do what you gotta do to get it, especially around here in the park, they should look good.
All right. Okay, clerk's report. Gotta do. Hey, officially I am a notary, so I have received my notary. Congrats. Thank you. I got my official stamp and everything. Per CERSA audit, we are asking to have the playground rules posted in playground. I have priced that and had one ordered, and for the town, she okayed the purchase of it for the sign for the playground. We've ordered another American or Colorado flag, which is currently on display out front. All past due water accounts in February were paid down to more than manageable amounts. For March, we had 7 shut-off notices that went out. And at the end of March, we only had 1 that had to be turned off due to payment plan violation. For the month of April, that sent out notices to remind people on payment plans to make these payments before that due date. And then again, shut-off notices will start going out on the 13th or 14th, I'm sorry. You guys got the tree bids. I did talk to Rural Water about the fire hydrants. He is gonna come down here and kind of show Terry how to fix those. Lake would like to suggest that we allow residents to dump their camper waste into the lagoons. We can charge them inadequate to the building, so.
I don't know.
I don't know. But that's what he suggested, so I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I will check on that.
I don't think
All right, well, and then for reports, we did have pets at large, so we need to make sure putting that out there for everybody. I need to start putting out there that we need to start watching our animals, make sure they're not getting out of the yards. We did have a report for loud and boisterous music. I'm looking into the ordinance and having it changed to where it shows what time we have music or that time period of silence, so that way it doesn't disturb the rest of the residents. Also, I did do it, no, hold on, somebody's house or their garage had gotten broken into on the 19th of last month. Did advise them to call the police department and make sure that they don't, you know, kind of watch their stuff, make sure everything is, nobody suspicious was walking around and all that, just keep themselves safe. I did drive around and look around. I had Terry drive me around town to look at houses and take pictures of properties and all that stuff. And then now, because we just did the pet registration, I am gonna start setting out those ordinances and those citations for that stuff. Currently, right now, we have 24 animals that are registered in the town. So I need to make sure that I do get that out for them to get more, like I said. Let me see. Currently, we do have a public service participant that has been working with us to complete their hours. So he did go around with Terry today and clean up the park and did some other cleanup around town too. Again, the teas I did put the teas down here. We had a compliance review with USDA rural development last month and again last week. And then this week, on Thursday, she's coming around to do a visual and to check everything. So we already know that the bathroom is not in compliance. She said, right now, currently, if we just got quotes on what it would cost to fix it, that would fix it, make sure that we were staying in compliance with it.
So I think we all the from the district.
Did, however, Sursa said, no, that doesn't work. So, yeah,
Maybe they should change something. Maybe we ought to check it.
yeah, I will definitely have her check into that. And then, also with our handicap parking, she says, well, because if we have somebody that comes in with a wheelchair, they're not gonna get stuck there, so she suggested maybe, putting the concrete there to kind of cover it, that way those with wheelchairs can't get out and make that. And then Mayor Dan, congratulations, has completed all of his work for paying for the art. I do have his worksheet and everything showing his hours of completion. So he has paid off in full in that. Town resident did come in and ask the town
Worried.
if we would be interested in having an industrial park in town. I told him I wasn't sure if he wants to take, like, starting with a business in the area to see if we can take recycle tires that are left over and kind of melt them down for the oil to sell them. So, yeah, I think he's gonna do it out in the country, but he just wanted to know if we would be okay with something
Is
like
that
that.
the guy calling me about the baseball diamond?
No, I don't,
Oh.
no.
Don't bring it, rotate,
Okay.
but I don't think they have to say on it.
And then I believe that is, oh, we did receive an application for code enforcement, so I don't know if you guys wanna have, look and see if we can afford to have a code enforcement right now.
I think Jennifer and we all agreed, I think we were all just gonna kind of handle it with all the trustees, bringing stuff up to you and having an exercise. Let's see how these letters. See how everybody does that.
Awesome.
We do need to address that mess across the way. I guess Von Herman passed away.
Yes.
But I think somebody else is still living in there. Jennifer and I have talked a little bit about that on that deal. And I guess I was somehow, and Jennifer said I ended up being the code or the building official for Olney Springs working with Matt, which is fine. I guess that's never gone away. So she said him and Matt and I are gonna talk about getting together and Jim and Matt, figure out how we can get that mess over there cleaned up and hopefully the town can end up with that problem.
I was following you. The boss, I thought that was being,
The whole building needs to.
well, I'm gonna say. The building.
She told my husband, well,
Somebody's in there squatting.
he said that he was
That's not
squatting.
true. I said that way.
Early.
I know, there's some black guy staying there.
Yeah.
That's a girl and a child. That's a woman and a child.
Isn't that? Yes.
I watched them pull up.
Stay in that place. We need to help the town problem here.
It's a death girl.
I'll get a hold of Matt, see what we can do. I'll work on
It's a
that.
cute old building, it would be cute, but it's all falling apart, the whole back of it.
Well, I hate to be crude, but he's used the inside for bathroom.
That's all it had.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Okay, that's all I have
Okay.
on my report.
Recording.
All right, right. Per time, I don't know.
6:55.
6:55.
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Close meeting to adjourn.
All right, thank you.
The recording has
Bye.
stopped.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you later.
Hi.
Diane, can you come for you, Diane?